Hi, everybody. Emmy here with the Graveyard Shift Talk Show once again on the set of Flying. And right next to me is probably, I'm sure, is a face you guys recognize on your TV screens and whatnot and films. Justin Smith. How are you doing, Justin?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, my friend. Doing great. You know, it's funny because Justin and I actually worked together before, so it's good to see him again after so
many years ago.
Many years ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
So, Justin, first of all, how are you doing, and how did you get here to doing this part? And can you tell us a little bit more about that part?
Yeah. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I recently moved back to the Tampa Bay area from Los Angeles. My wife, she is a host on HSN now, so that's what brought us back here. And, you know, there's not as much work as here as there is in Los Angeles. So this opportunity came up. A great friend of mine that worked with Robin, our esteemed director in the past, recommended me for this part, and I haven't done theater, so I'm terrified in probably about 15 years. And I said, you know what the heck, let's go and do it. And I auditioned, and I was lucky enough to make it to the callbacks. And Robin and our playwright Sheila Cowley invited me to take part in this play after that in a callback, and here I am. I play Rory Fisher. Sergeant Fisher, and so yeah, he is a World War II soldier. He was a gunner, and but he doesn't really know how to fly, so he's not a pilot, but he is a tail gunner, and he's dealing with some physical disabilities, so he has to triumph over these disabilities and still kind of navigate a post-World War II America and try to figure his life out and where his place is in this world.
Wow, that's amazing. And, you know, usually when you hear about films that are either set in World War II or about World War II, you don't really hear about this kind of subject matter. Like before we were discussing with Joe and Becca about their parts and about the women pilots that really were the heroes, and, well, of course, the men were as well. Don't want to make sure I include that. They were. All of them were. It's just that in this particular play, it's about the women.
Yes.
And, you know, so you don't hear about this kind of thing. So I'm curious, and now you're telling me about this character that has these disabilities and how he's overcoming them. How do you, especially since this is when you're doing theater for the first time,
in a long time. Yeah.
And how did you how do you gravitate towards that and bring that full circle in the character that you are portraying?
How do I bring that full circle? Man, you ask really good questions. You know that?
It's what I do, Justin. It's what I do.
You are a professional here.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny because I come from a TV film world, and everything moves very rapidly, and I'm used to getting multiple takes. I'm a pampered film and TV boy for the past 15 years. So to be able to, translate this now into this medium of stage is so exhilarating for me that it's just, I just have to retrain how I think about this. And the women in this play are so magnificent. All of my co-stars in Flying they're so supportive, and they're so good at what they do. They're so seasoned that I feel so comfortable and at home here now. I was terrified at first, like I said, but I'm starting to adjust, and it's I don't think any night is any easier or any less nerves for me, but it's just about finding the moments in this to really just make what I do on here translate to the audience the best I can. I hope I answered your question.
Hey, you did great. You did great. Hey, listen, you did great. So that's great. And so now that you're doing this, and it's hard. It's hard to move from film and TV and back and forth because they're both two completely different mediums. Now tell me a little bit more about the time period. So now you're playing somebody from the 40s, obviously way before you're in my time, and I'm not that old. And so what did you do to kind of research that part and to research how the time period affected your character?
Yeah, my grandfather and both of my uncles, they were my grandfather was in the Army, and he was in World War II. Both of my uncles were in the Air Force, neither of which were in World War II. But, I spent a lot of time going through their scrapbooks. I spent a lot of time researching, not just because, this takes place right after World War II. And so I spent a lot of time watching YouTube videos. the internet has a plethora of sources. So Robin,
like the new library, really.
Absolutely. Robin sent me a ton of, she was really great in sending me a ton of links ahead of time. So I did that. There's a couple great films out there that I watched too. Dolphin Tale, there's a wounded vet in that. So I went back and I went back and that was filmed here locally.
I was going to say that was filmed here.
Yeah. So I brought that up. But, I went back and watched that. I forget the actor's name. I want to say his name's Austin or something, but he plays a wounded vet. And so there's a lot of those, character studies that I was able to get from just viewing other performances. Oh, another great thing I did is not just stuff on war, but I spent probably an hour a day for a week researching not only people today who have disabilities, missing limbs, amputees, double amputees, and just studying how they walk, studying, not only just normal general public people, but also people in the service and how they were able to transfer back into civilian life after receiving such a disability in service. So mostly internet stuff,
No, but I mean, yeah, but it sounds like it was a very varied and it was a very diverse source of information to get you to really get into this role. So that's wonderful. Now, I know you guys are about to do a preview, so I'll just ask you one last question. I know there's a lot of fans out there. I'm sure many of them are women fans that want to hear about these things that you've been in that they probably have seen you in. So can you tell us a tiny, tiny bit about what are some of these films that you've been in, and that way they can go ahead and check you out on those?
Oh, sure. Well, thank you for asking. Let's see. Most recently, I did a film with Shia LaBeouf and Gary Oldman. Came out the end of 2016 called Man Down. It's a war film about the Afghan war. I probably most well known, I did a little film in a franchise with Bruce Willis.
Right, yeah, something
called A Good Day to Die Hard.
Live something.
Something. One of those Die Hard ones, the last Die Hard. So that was fun. And probably most well known is Vampire Diaries. I worked on a great period show on WGN called Underground last year, which was amazing. And I also just worked on Ozark, which is on Netflix with Laura Linney and Jason Bateman. It's an amazing series if you get a chance to check it out. I don't have anything on TV and film coming out. You'd have to go on video on demand and check any of my past stuff out. But if you get a chance before October 8th, come on down to HCC Ybor.
You can see them live in person.
Or Studio 620 here at Flying. I thank you so much for coming down and taking a minute to talk to me.
Absolutely, Justin. Thank you so much. Great to see you again, my friend.
Thank you
guys,
very much.
You're welcome. Guys, please come by and see us and see them and help them out and get to see this guy live and the other actors as well live. And we want to thank everybody for their time. And we'll see you guys next time on The Graveyard Shift. Peace.